This hasn't been a good week, a good month, really, for Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys organization, and Cowboy Nation, and all of the Dallas Cowboys fans around the world, including I. Before we get into this video, I first like to state this. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. I've been supporting the Dallas Cowboys ever since I came out of my mother's womb. That's how deep, connected, and this love-hate relationship I have with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a objective Dallas Cowboy fan. I never went into a season after season expecting that we're going to win the Super Bowl. But I always hope we even make it to the Super Bowl. So let's get into it. So, as you know, there's a lot of Dallas Cowboy haters out there. Stephen A. Smith loves to go on social media every time we lose and go, "How about them Cowboys?" and start laughing and shucking and jiving and giggling. Okay? When I say shucking and jiving, I don't mean in the sense of, to discredit Stephen A. Smith. But, to me, there's a lot of trolls out there. There's a lot of haters out there that just don't like the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Stephen A. Smith may say he has no issue with us, the Dallas Cowboys. But I think he has some hidden animosity about the Dallas Cowboys. But this is not the video that we're going to be talking about, Stephen A. Smith. So yeah, hasn't been a good week for the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys got beat down. They didn't lose to the Detroit Lions. They just got destroyed by the Detroit Lions. And this is and to me, as a lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan, if you've been following this channel, I even said in the Dallas Cowboys offseason of the lack of moves that the Dallas Cowboys did in the offseason. And I just didn't think we was going to have a good season in the offseason. Just think about it. We had the CeeDee Lamb contract dispute. We had the Dak Prescott contract dispute. We haven't really added a lot of talent. It seems like the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones in particular, is focusing on trying to keep the talent that he has with the Dallas Cowboys. But to me, I felt like you should have been adding more talent to the Dallas Cowboys, even for them to be very competitive. All right? The possibility of free agency, we didn't really address a lot of our huge needs, which was a running back. Derrick Henry was out there. And we could have gotten Derrick Henry for literally nothing. And he lives in Dallas. We thought that, oh man, if anything, Jerry Jones could, invite him to the facility. Gotten a phone call from him, but Derrick Henry is now he plays for the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens. Did I say that? Well, he plays for the Ravens. It is Baltimore Ravens. I'm still thinking about the Baltimore Colts. Indianapolis Colts, Baltimore Ravens. You get the point. So, yeah, I mean, the line was suspect. We did solve some of our needs in the NFL draft. We had a decent draft. It wasn't bad. Free agency, we didn't address the things that we needed to address. And here we are. We're almost halfway in the NFL season. And how I was feeling about the Dallas Cowboys in the offseason hasn't changed too much now. I think the Dallas Cowboys are not a very competitive team. Now, just watch. As soon as this video gets uploaded and goes to my channel, the Dallas Cowboys will be starting the makings of a 5-6 game winning streak. So everything I'm about to say is going to be thrown out the window. Like, you're throwing the baby with the bath water out the window. But still, I feel like when we do have success, it camouflages a huge issue with the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Dallas Cowboys are never, and Jerry Jones went on a radio show and he got into it with the host, threatening the host that he's going to replace them and find people that's going to do their job and ask him the questions he wants to answer. Obviously, Jerry Jones is not in a good mood. I'm pretty sure that that organization is not in a good mood. The coaches, the players, they're not in a good mood. They're not in a happy place. But you are what you are. And if anybody takes anything from Sunday's game, the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions, if you take anything away from it, the one thing you should take away from is, if you look at the Detroit Lions, they have a solid organization top to bottom. They're installing a culture. Remember when the Detroit Lions hired, I forgot the coach of the Detroit Lions. I do apologize. I could Google it, but I'm not around my computer right now. And that bizarre interview he had when he was introduced as the Detroit Lions head coach, everyone thought that he was weird. That man was very committed. That man brought enthusiasm to a dying franchise of the Detroit Lions. That man brought an energy that was very contagious that everyone picked up on when he went to the Detroit Lions organization. That man brought a culture to the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions always had talent. The Detroit Lions always drafted decent. But the one thing that was plaguing the Detroit Lions is the same thing that's been plaguing the Dallas Cowboys ever since the 90s. And that is, they don't have a culture they don't have a culture there. You can have a billion-dollar owner that understands the world of entertainment and understands business and understands that, and a lot of Jerry Jones' success has to do with the popularity of the Dallas Cowboys. He has made the Dallas Cowboys so popular for so long, for absolutely doing diddly squat on the field. The Dallas Cowboys will and continues to be America's team. All right, it may not be a Super Bowl winning team. It may not be a very successful team on the field, but it's a successful team popularity-wise and financially wise. And a lot of that, you have to credit Jerry Jones. But you have seen the power struggle between Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones wants to do something a little bit different with the Dallas Cowboys organization, have more of a football culture type of atmosphere with the Dallas Cowboys. Selecting, we're good at the draft, but we also need to be good at the people that make the decisions on who we need to draft, who we need to get in free agency. And Stephen Jones, this is only so much Stephen Jones can do because his father still owns, he's still the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and you can't fire an owner, or can you? I'm just joking, but you can't fire an owner. And the Dallas Cowboys, one or two things are going to have to happen. Either Jerry Jones is going to have to wake up one day and say, you know what? We tried it this way. It ain't working. Maybe I should just take a step back, let Stephen Jones get the right personnel there, because a lot of people are screaming Brian Billick. Brian Billick. Get Brian Billick. I don't think Brian Billick is going to be enough. It's a start. But you need the right personnel in the front office that have football experience or have had success in other organizations. And you have to have a coach with a military type of mindset that, hey, look, there's not going to be one player on our team that's bigger than the team. You know, and unfortunately, you got Dak Prescott on a huge contract, and he did other than, knowing his worth and knowing his value. And Dak Prescott knows that the Dallas Cowboys are not going to just not pay him, because that's not in Jerry Jones' DNA. Jerry Jones is always in the position of being behind. If I would have signed Dak Prescott a little sooner, then I wouldn't have this albatross of a contract that I got to keep paying and shelling out Dak Prescott. That was my mistake. My bad. But I don't want to get rid of him, because Dak Prescott is a household name that's embedded with the Dallas Cowboys. And as long as the Dallas Cowboys are popular, and as long as the Dallas Cowboys are successful financially, that's good enough for Jerry Jones. But that's not necessarily going to be great or good enough for Dallas Cowboys fans or football fans in general. That's why you have a lot of mediocrity with the Dallas Cowboys. The two teams, I feel like, that needs a complete overhaul. You just need to take gasoline to the garden and just burn everything and start all over. And the two teams are the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers, they're never going to start over and start making decisions based on what the team needs until LeBron James retires. Until Jeannie Buss probably have to take a step back on personnel decisions and coaching decisions. And that's the same thing that's going to have to happen with the Dallas Cowboys. Until Jerry Jones falls back and say, hey, look, you know what? This is not working, so let me fall back, get some people in here that know a thing or two about making a bad franchise very successful on the field, and I can still do the sponsorship deals. I can still do the brand deals. I can still, business-wise for the Dallas Cowboys, I can still make the Dallas Cowboys even bigger and more popular than what they are today. But I need somebody in there with a football pedigree that's going to make better and sound football decisions. And that's what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. The same thing is going to, the Los Angeles Lakers. I think that was a bet, drafting Bronny James that high and giving him a guaranteed contract is not going to help the Lakers anytime soon, and it's definitely not going to help Bronny James. You fired Darvin Ham and you replace him with J.J. Redick, an unproven coach. He hasn't been a proven assistant coach in the NBA or in college. So therein lies the Lakers are in the same boat and in the same pickle as the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to have to burn and tear everything down and start over. Now, look, Micah Parsons is a keeper. CeeDee Lamb, for now, is a keeper. But everything else is subject to go. I'm sorry, Dak Prescott, and look, I've been saying this for the past 3 or 4 years about Dak Prescott. This is nothing new to me. No disrespect to Dak Prescott, but I just don't think Dak Prescott is that guy for the Dallas Cowboys. I always felt that way. And Dak Prescott is hellified talented. But one, he's too expensive. For first and foremost. Two, he's not going to take a pay cut because what you're doing is starting the rebuilding wheel a little bit early. Now, Michael Parsons would do it because, he's still young in the game. CeeDee Lamb will probably do it because he's young in the game. But like Ezekiel Elliott, no, he's trying to prolong his career, and if he can somehow, some way get a Super Bowl ring in the process, then so be it. And the same is said for Dak Prescott. He's not going to take a pay cut. That old adage is cheaper to keep her. It really doesn't apply to Dak Prescott. I'm willing to trade if there's someone out there that's wanting a Dak Prescott, which I don't think anyone wants Dak Prescott now. Even teams that don't have a quarterback don't want Dak Prescott. And there I say, the possibility of even cutting Dak Prescott. Would you rather have Dak Prescott on your team and his salary, his contract handicaps you from making the team any better, or would you rather cut Dak Prescott? It's still going to count against your cap, but then you can impose the excuse of, we're starting all over. We are reinventing this wheel. We don't have the quarterback on our team right now that's going to turn this around anytime soon. When you look at what's out there, future quarterbacks in college football, we just don't see that guy that's going to turn and reverse our fortunes into a positive effort. And that's what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. They're stuck in the middle. And I always said this, before I end this video, I always say this. And it doesn't matter what league you follow. I'd rather be a team that's winning and being very competitive and the possibility of going to a championship, or I'd rather be a team that's struggling, that's not very competitive, that's not right now going to a championship or even making it into the playoffs, and maybe going into the draft, just start building your team from there. But the one place you don't want to be in professional sports is in the middle. You're not good enough to compete or go deep in the playoffs or even win a title, and you're not that bad where you can get a top draft pick, like from 1 through 5. Those draft picks, if you draft well, those players help you a lot more. So you don't suck that bad where you can get a high draft pick, but you're not that good to win a title. You're stuck in the middle. And that's what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. That's what's been going on with the Los Angeles Lakers. And until someone says, you know what, we need to start this whole thing all over again, reinvent the wheel. If we have to take some lumps in the way, we'll take some lumps in the way. If we have to have to dump some salary, we're going to have to dump some salary. If we have to trade some of our players, we're going to have to trade some of those players. But we need to start this all over again, pronto, fast. So financially, it helps the team in the salary cap. And talent-wise, you can start building a lot more better in the draft because you're drafting higher, as well as you have the money to get a player here, a player there in free agency that's going to benefit your team. But as far as the Dallas Cowboys go, you can't do that with Jerry and Stephen Jones. You're going to need someone in there with a football mindset, a football IQ that knows how to build football teams. And unfortunately, that person is not on the Dallas Cowboys. And obviously, whoever this person is going to be, they're not going to keep what we have on the coaching staff. So, yeah, that's it. So, that's all I got for today, guys. Tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.